Hello, YouTube fans. This is TheSkullKlown. I'm here to talk about the whole Vince McMahon stuff. Ding Dong, the witch is gone, basically. But I want to talk about something else real quick. It has come to my attention, and I've seen one video. It's about an hour long. I haven't seen the whole thing, but they have pointed out. This YouTuber pointed out. Okay, with this whole Vince McMahon allegation, when you look at what they were talking about, when the things that was written about him, basically what he was doing, it sounded like, at least for the perspective of the woman, basically going what she's talking about, it does. And the guy made a good point too. He pointed out that it's like, because we live in a generation now that everyone is soft, and everyone says a few things, and and all of a sudden, oh, lock him up, put him in jail, and some shit like that. Basically, if you have a dick between your legs, then you can't say shit. Basically, we live in that generation right now. Even though it's dying off, but you can still see it a little bit. But moving on from that, the YouTuber literally said that you gotta pay attention to what they said here, because it's over the top to the point that it's emotional, instead of just talking about what really did happen. You're putting more emotion into it instead of just breaking down or what happened to that person, to you, breaking down what happened to you, instead of instead of you literally freaking out to the point that, okay, for example, if you're making an article or just talking about this stuff, basically, and it gets out there in the public, basically, why why would it translate to the point that it looks like you're using your emotions to talk about this? And most people might be like, well, obviously she went through all of that stuff, why wouldn't she be emotional? And I get it, of course. But at the same time, we're living in an emotional society now, and people want to be soft and stuff like that, and people don't want to think, you know. And I'm not saying Vince did all of this stuff and everything like that. Are you kidding me? This is what I thought of. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? This is my perspective. How much you want to bet? Those other allegations that he got and everything like that. He didn't listen to none of that shit. Basically, you know how he is. You know how Vince is. He was still, remember, he wasn't part of that TKO stuff when The Rock became part of that stuff. He was there, and then that same day, people are not thinking about this. In the same day that he was there, he got those allegations. He got more of those allegations, right? And the thing is too, also, when you point this out, to hardcore wrestling fans, would just be like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he do that? You know, it's because this is how this man is. And I just want you guys to think about that. How do you not know that they just want to get rid of him because he's toxic as fuck, and they were just like, fuck it, let's just give him an allegation. Let's give him an allegation that's so big and so crazy to the point that he can never be in this business again. Let's get some random bitch out here in the streets and she could talk about all of this. And then you see these YouTubers that are doing wrestling podcasts saying most likely the same shit of what the article is saying. They're going through the same thing instead of reading the whole thing, basically, because there's like 60 pages, I believe. And from the podcaster wrestling fan, I mean, and from the podcast, I mean, yeah, from the wrestling podcasters that I've seen, they talking about. Have you noticed that certain YouTubers say certain things of the same thing, and you're questioning why the fuck are they doing that? You know those high YouTubers that wanna that say certain things, and then it gets popular and shit like that, and then they get everything under the sun, basically, and it's stupid as fuck, and people can notice that. So that's why I'm noticing that some of these wrestling podcasters are literally repeating what the other podcaster are saying, and I'm over here like, I get it, because you're reading a document and all that stuff, but there's 60 pages about this, guys. You're not reading the other pages. You should have looked at another one. You should have looked at a wrestling podcaster and be like, okay, since you talked about that from this page to this page, I'm going to talk about from this page to this page. For example, for example, And I'm not that type of person that will make a video about that because it's out there. Anyone can just watch it, right? Not, I mean, anyone can just watch a video about it and see it and everything like that. Let's see what's the YouTuber that. Let me see. I'll check right now. What's the YouTuber that I saw him talking about this stuff, and it made me think of it because it's true. Remember, anything that's out there, guys, in a spiritual enlightenment way, anything that's out there. Remember, I'll say this right now. We live in a time right now in a spiritual enlightenment way. We live in a time where things that are in the darkness will come to light. Okay, the things that are in the shadows will come to light. So I'm not saying all of this stuff with Vince is not true. Are you kidding me? Him doing him from what we. It's funny too. Like I said before, him from for what we hear from this, him defecating and all this stuff to a woman. It's literally like, well, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he do that? He's Vince McMahon. This is the same man that got raped by his stepdad, most likely, and got abused by his stepdad, obviously, and most likely got raped by his mama. Okay, so what is that video at? I'm looking for it right now. Let's see. It should be in my history. Okay, it's called Vince McMahon Sex Trafficking Lawsuit, and it's from the Magnificent Mongo Slade. I hope I said that right. But he even said too he's not vouching for Vince or anything like that. Of course he why would you? No one is. No one's not vouching for Vince, but it needs to be said of certain things that's kind of questionable, you know? So listen to this real quick. Listen to this. I want you to listen to this. This was 11 minutes in, and I thought it was really interesting. And this video is an hour long. I put this in the description box just in case if you want to hear it for yourself more about it. So here it is. We're gonna do this thing. How is everybody doing? I am the Magnificent Mongo Slade. I am here to discuss the That's his channel. Lawsuit. That's his channel right there. It's going to be a little bit different this time because the documents that I had and the documents I intended to use are actually on my phone. But I want to try to do a switcheroo during the live stream. Let's see if we can get these documents up from my phone to my tablet where I can read them. And, well, I guess it won't be anytime soon. All right. So I want to be upfront. Right. I am not defending Vince. I don't defend people, at least not all the time. Right. I only defend people if I honestly think they did nothing wrong. Right. All right. I don't know whether Vince did anything wrong or not. I want to be clear on that. I wasn't there. I'm not just a fanboy. I take things as they come. So. And the thing is, and it's true though. None of us weren't there, and we've heard and we're hearing stuff with Brock Lesnar too. I have to say this right now before we continue on. If that whole shit with Brock Lesnar of getting pictures from that and all that stuff, if all of this stuff, like I said before, if all of that stuff with Vince McMahon is true, then it's true. But at the same time, don't rule out that maybe WWE and TKO and / UFC was just like, let's get rid of this motherfucker any way possible. So here it is, let's fuck him over really bad, So again, does he deserve to go to prison and all that stuff for all the shit that he's done before we found out about this? Of course, duh. We all knew that. You know. But moving on. Also, too, though, do you think this is bad? No. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. With the whole Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit shit, trust me. Oh, trust me. When that shit comes out, you guys are gonna fucking freak the fuck out. Already, some of these podcasters freak the fuck out because they couldn't take what they're hearing from this shit. So imagine when that shit comes out. The idea that I'm going
going to ask some very, very interesting questions about this lawsuit. Do not take it as, well, you're just a fan, you defending Vince. This is logical questioning.
It is.
Of allegations, serious allegations, that are made towards a man who is almost 80 years old.
Thank you.
And was close to 80 even when these situations supposedly occurred. I'm telling you, this stuff is serious. These are very, very serious. I want to get out there. Because this stuff is not about...
And right now he's live doing a Vince McMahon resigning from TKO group. So I'll watch that another time. And I'll probably put that video in the description box too. I think the video will be done when I'm done with this, but moving on.
It's not about defending anybody. It's not about protecting anybody. I'm not on the side of the woman. I'm not on the side of Vince. I'm merely asking logical questions and making pretty logical statements.
Because we need to question this shit.
So, my second statement is going to, in some ways sounds to people like you're going to invalidate the woman's entire story, that you're going to attack her. And I will say, there's a lot of things about this story that I simply do not buy.
Yeah.
There are things in this, and I'll tell you why I don't really buy it. Because of the way that the lawsuit is written. It's written with a lot of emotion.
Yes.
And we live in a feelings-based society. I mean, we really do. And because we live in a feelings-based society, you can say anything. Literally anything.
Yeah.
And people will believe it. We live in an age where people can say whatever they want on social media. People will say whatever they want on the internet. People can say whatever they want. And there is very little recourse that you can have in these situations. We do have freedom of speech in this country. Now, the third thing I want to say, when it comes to filing lawsuits, when it comes to filing various petitions with the court, anybody can file or sue anybody, and you can say whatever you want in these documents, which is why these documents are often very
emotional. It really is.
They're written as settlement bait. We're going to do the too long didn't listen version of this. I am not defending Vince. I am not on the woman's side either. I have no horse in the race. But when you write in your lawsuit, some of the things that she wrote in this lawsuit, or what she had written in the lawsuit, the gory details, the reason you would do that is that you're trying to get an emotional reaction out of people. This is not
exactly. When they went through the gory details of what Vince allegedly did, basically, I'm all like, why were you... I literally was questioned. Literally, I was just like, okay. When I was hearing all this stuff too, I'm all like, okay, we can hear details about this, but we won't get details of like sex trafficking, little kids and shit like that. We don't get those type of details, but we get details of an adult got sex trafficked. What? Does that make sense? Oh, but they need to protect the children. Okay, but why are they not protecting the victim? The adult victim. See, something is sus. Something doesn't make sense. Something doesn't make sense here. Alright? That's why I mentioned, don't be surprised if WWE and TKO/UFC was just like, get rid of this motherfucker. Put in a fake allegation if you have to. I don't give a fuck. He's already in hot water anyways. Let's do it. Don't be surprised. Don't be fucking surprised, man. Don't be fucking surprised, man. Don't be surprised. Again, I'm not defending Vince or anything like that, but I'm saying this. Do not be surprised, man. Do not be surprised. I'm telling you. I've said this before and I've said it again. The wrestling business is fucked up. It's fucked up. Hell, if you want to compare to this to the Illuminati, I guess you could literally be like, this is not a spiritual enlightenment channel. I mean, video. You could literally said that, hey, they had dirt on Vince. They got tired of his ass, so they were just like, fuck it, here, get out of our sight. Now you're gone. Ha ha ha. Now we own this shit. Basically, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. You know. And as long as look, at the end of the day, as long as we thinking outside of the box too, I think we could be good. You know, and not to say that going back, not to say that he didn't do any of the shit. Kind of like he got in trouble anyways before we got this allegation. You know, so people already wanted him gone to begin with anyways. You know, so let's move on.
Critical legal document written full of facts with evidence and all this kind of stuff. This stuff is written for the queasy. Is written for people who are going to read this and have a knee-jerk reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they want.
Yeah.
They want you to have a knee-jerk reaction so that you will have a sort of guttural disgust at this. And then you will hope that and then, of course, from Vince McMahon's perspective, it's ruining his reputation that's already been well tarnished. But it's sinking a deeper depth. All right? That's what we're going for here, a deeper depth. It's about ruining the man's life and burning his legacy alive. And look, if that's what you want to do, that's your business. I care about the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I care about the facts. I've always said through this entire time, I'm not surprised Vince McMahon was banging some young chick. I would imagine he would have some kind of girlfriend that he was spending money on.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't banging his wife.
Right.
And he's surrounded by women all the time. Yeah, I kind of would believe he was probably banging a young chick. A younger chick, rather. But some of this stuff that I read in this lawsuit it's stomach turning.
Yeah.
It's legitimately stomach turning. And we're not going to go through other people. We're not going to read.
And the thing is too, look, I know again going back, this is not a spiritual channel or a spiritual video. I do have a channel that's like that, but I do want to point out this: these elites, these fucked up elite motherfuckers, they do the exact same thing that you hear with the allegations about Vince. I am dead serious, but they're worse. Oh, they're worse. They literally will cut you open and literally drink your blood while they're doing it. I am dead serious. That's how fucked up these people are. Okay, I'm dead serious. You guys have no idea what these government officials do, and the cops and the FBI people let them get away with it because them capturing them, putting them in jail, it doesn't suit them because it doesn't go around as a how it doesn't help the wheel basically. It's fucked up, right? It's fucked up. But that's the way it is, man. That's the way these motherfuckers are. They're like that. They're literally like that. These are the same fucking motherfuckers that kidnapped children, man. And look out and look on the internet about Google crocodile statues. They're all literally crocodile statues in New York. There's literally look that shit up on Google and you can literally find a crocodile statue that's popping its head out of the sewers and grabbing a person in a suit and has a money bag on it. And it's supposed to be representing a child though, but it's also representing people in suits also. But it's mostly talking about the kids. This is in New York, by the way. And if it's not in New York, let me know. But it is somewhere. And look it up on Google, guys, because I don't have to do it here. You guys are smart enough to do this on your own, right? Which is why I make this video is because I found videos like this, you know. So.
Wall Street Journal, which I appreciate. I want to give him a shout out because he actually went to the Discord and he gave me a copy of the Wall Street Journal article. I want to look for his name first. Prince Noctis. Prince Noctis, thank you very much for finding a PDF version of the Wall Street Journal article. I really appreciate that. You are a legend. But I already had like the raw lawsuit. And to me, there's no better reason. There's no better way to get into these subjects than to go to the documents themselves. I read most of this lawsuit. It's 65 pages. A lot of it is repetitive.
I figured.
So we're going to go through it.
Why
There were
wouldn't it
some
be?
really sick things that were accused in here. Now, we're not going to go through the entire document because that would take literally forever.
Yeah. By the way, John Laurinaitis is in on this, and most likely so is Kevin Dunn. Oh. So we got John Laurinaitis, Kevin Dunn, Vince, most likely Triple H and Stephanie. They know it. They probably weren't a part of it, obviously, but they know about it, which makes them look bad, in my opinion. I think we can all agree about that. These people know about how Vince is, and they've been holding this shit for quite a while. And this allegation apparently happened around 2022 or 2021. And then you know how this company is. They hide everything to have a squeaky clean image. And it's disgusting. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. Especially nowadays, man. We're in 2024. The age of literally people waking the fuck up. You can't do that anymore, man. People can see through the bullshit. And people can see through your lies. I'm telling you, man. You guys don't get it. This company's gonna get fucked over even if Vince is not even there. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, this company's probably gonna go downhill. And people are already saying, "Oh, it's already gone downhill," and I'm over here like, "Nah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the wrestling. I'm not talking about the storylines. I'm talking about the company itself, guys. Of all the background shit that they have done. All right. So let's continue on. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit too long here, but once I get to the 11 minute and 20-second mark, I pause it right there.
But we're going to go through quite a bit of this document. And there are some questions I want to ask because there are some things that simply don't add up to me. But we're going to start at the very beginning. Because the very first question I have is, how did this woman become an employee of WWE? And thankfully, they started this narrative at the very beginning. How this woman came to work in WWE. Now, she mentions being a caregiver for her sick parents, which, tells you right off the bat they're trying to set her up as an angel who didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true. It is true, though. I mean, when I first heard that, I'm all like, you guys just gave her an image of like, oh, she's an angel. And I'm more like, half of the population of this planet are not angels. I'm sorry that right now. All right? Seriously. The only ones that are angels are literally little kids. Everyone else, no. Not even teenagers are. All right?
Never worked a desk job in her life. Her parents had passed away. She couldn't find a job anywhere on planet Earth, apparently. And then all of a sudden, a resident manager out of a building.
$1 billion corporation, by the way.
Text message to Vince McMahon asking him if he would talk to her. Vince McMahon then said, hell yes. This is what is written in the lawsuit. She then claims that Vince befriended her and gave her hopes of a new life. And she says, but what seemed like a dream in the spring of 2019 quickly became a nightmare. They're telling stories. This is a story that they're telling. All right? You're reading a story. It's supposed to be a legal document.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're reading is a story. All right? Okay. Look at the framing of this thing.
Something to think about, guys.
What was once a dream very quickly became a nightmare. Okay, so let's talk about this nightmare.
Right?
This woman who has no job and no job prospect.
And it's going to look great on a documentary. She worked for this company until it all changed. You know? Oh, God. And those memes about shit like that.
Is reaching out to a significantly older man.
That's about to be 80.
Interesting. This is the part that kind of made my eye twitch almost immediately. You're told that Janelle Grant starts working in WWE in June of 2019. Okay? She says she went to Vince's condo in March of 2019. So,
I've even heard that she was there. I heard that she got hired in 2021. That's what I've heard. I'm just telling you what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. She could have got hired back in 2010 for all I fucking goddamn know. She could have got hired back in the fucking 90s for all I know. You know?
Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, she had no experience whatsoever. She got a job through patronage by not having any skills or any merit whatsoever, but being a younger woman who was, who knows what, with Vince McMahon. They became close. He made her promises, is in here. He pushed her for a physical relationship. It says on line 9, it says, as such, when McMahon pushed Grant for a physical relationship in return for a long-promised employment at WWE.
Wow. That didn't happen. That did not happen before. Alright. Someone's fucking with your video, dude. I think that just proves right there. It went to 11 minutes and 20 seconds. But right there when they just cut off right there, that should say a lot. Because I've done spiritual videos all the time and spiritual enlightenment videos all the time. And when something like that happens, that's how when shit like that happens, it's because YouTube is trying to block that shit. So I guess we have something here, guys. I guess we do have something here. Because I remember hearing a little bit what he was saying, and now it's blocked. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That's YouTube doing something, man. YouTube. I'm telling you, man. There's something fishy. But again, going back, most people might be like, "Well, he already got fucked up anyway. So putting this is just the nail of the coffin. Fuck him anyways, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine if you want to think that." But at the same time, if this was to get him out of WWE and TKO, basically, if this was to him to get out, just to not deal with him, guess what? The people that made those allegations to get him out are in trouble as well. Point blank and simple. They're just as bad as him. Okay? All of them should be in prison, to be quite honest with you. If they're trying to do that shit. Okay? It's fucked up. It's fucked up. But at the end of the day, guys, tell me what you guys think down below. Seriously. I guess the whole thing with what is it? When Bray Wyatt was doing the Fiend and he had a puppy of Vince McMahon with devil horns and shit like that. I'm all like, well, look at that. Even though we already know, you know. So that's another thing too. I pointed this out a couple of times in this video, but it needs to be said before I close this video. It has to be said that we know if we hear some allegations from Vince McMahon, we just be like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he do that? That's Vince McMahon. Like, it's come to the point that we think he can do something like this, and then when something comes out of saying that he did it, we'll just be like, yep, without him even saying anything at all, not even him going to court or anything like that. We'll just be like, yep. And he's a rich man, so doesn't matter for some people. Hey, it doesn't matter to me too sometimes, man. I'm not defending this motherfucker, but it just needs to be said. It's just there's something here that's just shady. He deserves everything that he's gonna get, obviously. But this right here is just raising an eyebrow to most likely to get him out of this whole situation of the business. All right. Again, I could be gone, you know. Um, again, but at the end of the day, he was going to get fucked over anyways, and this was just going to break the camel's back, either if it's true or not. At the end of the day, it's to get him the fuck out of here. It really is, man. It really is. Either if you agree with the allegations or you're questioning the allegations. There's not a disagreement. There's just questioning and or agreement to it, to be quite honest with you. You know? So, I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll say this right now. Remember, Vince is friends with Trump. I say this right now. All right. And Kane is having a good time talking about Trump and shit too. So imagine that. All right. All these people sleeping in bed with another. All right. Seriously. So if the stuff with Vince is like 100% accurate and 100% true, guess what? Guess what? That means Kane must be doing it, and so most likely Donald Trump, because they all hang out together. All right. And most people are like, you can't say that about Kane. Guys, I want to say this right now. When you become a politician or a mayor or a president, you have to do disgusting, horrendous shit for you to be up on that stage just for you to talk. And at the end of the day, even if you don't believe that, Kane is a puppet. Trump is a puppet. Vince is a puppet. To beings that are in the behind the scenes that we never see. And for some people, that's scary because they'll be like, what do they look like? Oh, trust me, they look hideous. Hideous. Because mostly because most likely they're decaying. Obviously, they're decaying like zombies. What do you think? What do you think? They always like to have blood and all that shit. Again, this is not a spiritual channel or anything like that, but it needs to be said to talk about it here. All right. So I guess that's it. That's all. That's how I'm going to close off this shit because we're in 2024 and half of the world population should already know about this type of shit, about how fucked up shit is around here. All right. So tell me, you guys think about the whole Vince McMahon stuff. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm not kissing his ass or anything like that. I think none of us are. It's just that there's just certain things out here that we want are raising an eyebrow on to the point that we're like, okay, it's to the extreme to the point that you guys are trying to make a story out of this. For crying out loud, I point this out before too. They put this shit in the news. They talked about this in the news. Anything that they said is the opposite. I've always said this before. If you watch my spiritual stuff, man, so you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention, or else you're going to be lost in the sauce and agree everything that they're telling you out here, man. Seriously. And then when shit goes down, like for example, if they said that we if they said that nothing's gonna happen to the planet and all of a sudden the power goes out, who are you gonna blame? Who are you gonna blame? You gotta blame yourself, to be quite honest with you, because you were gullible to believe somebody else instead of you following yourself and tapping in to thyself. If that makes sense. If it's too much for some people to fathom or they don't get it, that's fine. You get it eventually. We're in that type of year, to be quite honest with you. That people will just get certain shit now. It's a beautiful time to be alive when you figure that shit out. To be quite honest with you, it is. It's a beautiful time to be alive for to figure stuff like that out. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Be safe. And tell me what you guys think about this video and the stuff that the guy mentioned too. And I put his video in the description box, and that live thing too that he just did too. I also put that in the description box too. So I'll see you guys later, and be safe. And yeah, tell me what you guys think down below.